Welcome to the Healer Circle, where extraordinary healers share their personal journeys, wisdom, and how to heal yourself. My hope is that their insights, practical tips, and aha moments inspire and guide you in discovering your own spiritual gifts to reach your highest potential. Hi, welcome Santana da Luz, which also means give light. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, such a pleasure. I just wanted to share a quick memory of mine that's going to stay with me forever because it will be so precious, because your crystal bowl healing session was my daughter's first ever spiritual session. And to have her in the environment where you did, that location was just perfection. I cannot even imagine that. I know there's so many different people who do all sorts of healing bowl sessions, but I cannot honestly imagine being better than yours. I'm sorry. It was so beautiful, so amazing. And just to show the little bit of how, and I want to hear shortly, how and what it can do, but just from my daughter's little bit of experience to show that not only do we heal emotionally, energetically, things happen physically. For example, my daughter had fallen months ago in the school bike trip, and she just completely mashed her chin, and there's a lot of sand involved, and they tried to clean it, which still resulted with having like a grain of sand in her chin. And I remember a few days before coming to your healing session, we're like, okay, maybe we have to go back to the doctor and see if we need to remove it somehow, or we can just see what happens and maybe it will come out on its own. So after your healing session, my daughter tells me, Mommy, when we were in that session, I was just rubbing my chin and it came out. So do you see the magic that can happen also in the physical plane, just in the emotional? So with that, please do share, what is it that you do and what is it the clients say that you do?
Two different things. No, I'm kidding.
Totally.
First of all, I love the introduction to this. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing that story with your daughter. Because quite transparently, that particular sound healing was the most high vibrational experience I think most people had in that, including yours truly. The store itself was beautiful. People were vibing the day before, and I got information that they were vibing at the day after, and a few other calls about some healings. Mm-hmm. So yeah, your daughter is quite blessed and of light for choosing you to come through this world and then being introduced in the way she was. Mm. What do? I do two modalities, both lend into each other for healing. The first one is metaphysical guidance. I found that really important because when I started to be in the woo world, mostly all my life, but really more intentionally about 5-6 years ago, there was a huge learning curve about how to get into this new and higher consciousness. Words were being used differently. So in regular conversation, when you say, so tell me more, there's this learning curve. So I decided to become a metaphysical guide, meaning I will talk with you one-on-one, take in your life's challenges, questions, obstacles, struggles, what have you, misunderstandings, curiosity, and lean in with spiritualism one-on-one so that your conscious is slowly raised out from the three-dimensional matrix. My other bigger modality of healing is, as we've mentioned, sound healing. Got into that in a whole different way. But to cut to the chase, I have come to learn that I play my bowls with the deepest intention every time. It's almost a respectful thing that comes from me to my bowls and out into my audience. I was given one of the greater advices when I received my bowls, and that was, I don't own them. I I'm to be connected with them. And I believe that is happening. And the first notice was after every sound healing, I am completely and utterly really thirsty. It's like I did a lot of work in there. So it's crazy. And what my clients would say about me, opposed, what do I do? Well, I just told you what I did. And what I think the clients say is I'm non-binary. So it's they, them. And I would hear them say, well, Santana just makes life easier. Thing, and I'm so grateful to hear that. Or I can't go a week without talking to them because they make things more palatable. What I'm really doing is introducing spiritualism and or giving a sound healing.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I'd love to get a little bit more of if people have not experienced sound healing before, what are some of the things for them? Like, wait, so why do I do this? Other than it just sounds super amazing, obviously, but it's not just like someone say, is it a concert? Well, no, but yes, but no. Like, what? So why, like someone who has no idea what it is, why would they come to this?
Sure. Great. Thank you. So let me start by going with something most people can resonate with, and that is music. Mm-hmm. If music can soothe your soul, imagine what raw crystal bowl sound healings can do. Mm-hmm. Music makes you happy. Music is celebratory. Music brings back memories. Music can be soothing. Music causes all these different emotions. Mm-hmm. Now go into its more raw form of frequency and vibration. It actually is coming from crystal bowls. Mm-hmm. In sound healing, there are 7 main crystal bowls, and each of them refer to your chakras from your head down to your tailbone. How does it work, really? Well, our body is made up of, it's arguable, but they say 70 to 75% water, mm-hmm. our body, right? And what penetrates, and that's how the vibration and frequency is able to penetrate into our bodies, mm-hmm. helping it heal, helping it feel better, helping your chakras get realigned. Mm-hmm. Like your heart chakra, when it is blocked from love, it really means you are in grief. Mm-hmm. So by hearing the heart bowl, it gives you solace. It actually gives you healing, and the grief dissipates back into self-love and love going out. So this is what actually happens to people when they come to receive. I tell them their only job when receiving sound healing is to remove the monkey mind, because mm-hmm. there's chatter. Did I turn off the stove? Is the lights, my parking meter okay? What's happening? If they can turn off the mind and open the body energetically to receive, that is your only job. And then there's what I call a spiritual surgery that takes place.
Yes. So well put. So well put. I mean, it might be really hard to understand for some people who are not in the spiritual world yet. Can you just briefly say what that means? Because it's so true.
Yeah. Well, people come in, like when you come in for a massage, there's actual physical touch, and they'll work on that muscle. They'll work on that tenseness. With sound healing, it is yours to allow. It is yours to receive without touch. So the vibrations and frequencies of the bowls, as you listen to it, is absorbed. Therefore, the surgeon part of it is putting all your chakras back in place. It actually does some physical healing. I think the biggest claim to fame for my bowls, not me, but for my bowls, mm-hmm. is there was a lady who had been seeing a neurologist for months on end because there was a pain in her face. I don't know about pains in the face. I'm not medical. I didn't know this, and she came to a sound healing, and an hour afterwards, she was holding her face. Mm-hmm. And her friends around her was like, oh my God, you need to tell Santana. And I was like, what happened? So I went to her and I said, are you okay? Because I know bowls don't hurt. Sound doesn't hurt. I mean, if it's really loud, you might get a headache. Not from crystal bowls, though. So she told me the story and how her face doesn't hurt anymore. And she's been enduring pain for months. So she went back to the neurologist and said, I don't have any more pain. Right? And the neurologist said, well, okay, do you know what happened? And she said, yeah, I went to a sound healing.
Yes.
And of course, he's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, do you know what he wanted me to tell you? And I said, I can't imagine. And she says, he wants to talk to you. I said, please give him my number.
Just do it with all the clients. And so this is the magic that you cannot put a finger on. Like, how does this, what do you mean spiritual operation? Like, what does that mean? But these are often the times where people go to the doctors, they're trying to find help, and still for some reason something doesn't work. And then that kind of magical spiritual operations can heal those things that have been there for who knows how long. So
Correct.
thank you for what you do and everything. But I'm curious also, how did you get to the bowls specifically? Why not, I don't know, something else? How did you end up with the bowls?
Well, you're going to have to help me clarify because my journey was pretty spiritual. So ask questions, please.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about bowls until about 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. My partner at the time and I were holding a gratitude retreat. She was all woo. She was doing all her stuff. I was the background helper, filler in, cook, cleaner, you name it. I did the muggle work, if you will.
I love it.
And come the session where there's, next up is an hour sound healing. And I remember seeing that and I thought, good, you guys go ahead and I'm going to go set up for the next event for our retreat. So we're all ready. And my partner was extremely insistent that I attend. So may I let you know that I'm using my words impeccably by saying I attended my very first sound healing begrudgingly.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's so okay. That's good, actually, because then other people who feel like, oh, I don't know about this.
Right? I like what? Yeah, I have so much more to do. And then I will also tell you, I was very uncomfortable laying down amongst others,
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm supposed to be relaxed doing this. I had issues. Okay. So this is really real.
I love it.
And I lent in on it because I thought, well, at minimum, I'm just going to rest for about 50 minutes, which I could probably use. Well, I will tell you quite honestly, after the sound healer was complete, I woke up with a sensation that is, to this day, is indescribable.
Mm.
But to the best of my ability, it was like 20 years was knocked off my life. Mm. I felt incredible. I felt energized. I felt spry. I don't feel spry in the mornings. And so I was shocked, and I turned to the sound healer and I said, is this what that does? Is this, did I get that? Or was I snoring? But then I don't sleep heavy. So what? And she's like, welcome to sound healing. Said, okay. Well, in full transparency, it didn't take then, but I was amazed. 3 years later, I woke up one morning and I told my partner, I'm going to do sound healing. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm doing sound healing. I will get my bowls as soon as I can, and I'm going to be a sound healer. Just determined like that. It was the craziest thing. I have another crazy story about metaphysical guidance too. So it's all blending together. I think Spirit was talking to me saying, this is the work you're supposed to do. Quite frankly, I come from corporate, high-end corporate, and I did that thing. And I was a facilities manager and built out many buildings. The biggest one in San Bruno is yours truly. So we don't do this anymore. We follow our own true heart's desire. Anyway, I got these bowls, and, the correct bowls are not inexpensive.
Right.
And I was not flowing with money at the time. But after a long story short, I was literally given a check. And I was like, no, this is a mistake. This is not, no. They said, due to all the things you've done in the past, blah, 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 here's your check. And it was a little more than what my bowls cost plus tax. So it was a gift I saved from the universe. Yeah. When the bowls came, I wasn't apprehensive at all. It was like, there you are. And I just started playing, and it was like, yes. And I was being very filled. In past life regression, there may be more questions, but I come to find out I was a healer in Atlantis and Lemuria as well, sound healer.
That is amazing. And I love what you're bringing up here as well is once we decide, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how, I don't know what. Then suddenly there's like, oh, because you decided, now we'll give this to you. We will support you now in this. Then it's like, da, 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 here it is.
It's true. It's funny because, and it's so true, and I'm glad you hit on that because, we can sit here with full blown determination.
Yeah.
But because we're human, we tend to have a percent or three that is not all in.
Yeah. Yes, totally.
Right. But when it came to sound healing, and for me, and it almost sounded so ridiculous that I couldn't help but be 100%. Why not?
Yeah.
Whereas if we now make the determination, I want a Rolls Royce, right? 97% of us could want that Rolls Royce. The other 3% is how will I avoid insurance? Right. Where will I park? What if it gets a scratch? Do I have the money to fix it? And that's why the Bentley doesn't come.
Block, exactly. Yeah. But going from that, like, what motivates you to do this work that you do of just sound healing or any kind of magic that you do in your life? What's the motivator factor? Why'd you do it?
Great question. The first and foremost is to meet miraculous people such as yourself. Mm. My mentor. I've had some wonderful, crazy experiences with her. But I will tell you, I think I was born with it because even as a kindergartner, my teacher complained to my mom and dad that I'm so busy helping others that I'm not doing my own work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, why do I do it? I do it because I know I can. How big, I'm still learning about, but I know I can. I know I can affect a room with good or bad. And it feeds me. Yeah. It feeds me to help others. It's just been that way all my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Tell me, if you would go back on time when you were younger, is there anything, I mean, of course, wherever we are right now is perfect. However, if we could go back in time, is there advice or is there something that you say, hey, could you do this more? Or, here's what I suggest you do?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question because I was born, as my parents would say, extremely idealistic. And I would tell children of today and parents of today, let them dream. It is the biggest thing possible, is to fulfill your life's dreams, to follow your true heart's desires, and don't be conformed to the 3D matrix of you have to do this, you must be smaller, you must be more quiet, behave, take it in, don't fight it. And we got crunched into this little ball so that we're all pretty much alike.
Yeah.
And if you're different, it's like, hey, shh, come on.
Yeah.
I would highly advise, be your airy-fairy self. Absolutely. Scream aloud, be joyful, be different. It's okay.
Yeah. And for the ones who are entering this world, who are kind of like, ooh, I don't know, I've experienced different things, whatever their magic is, but then like, ooh, I don't know what this is. Am I making this up? What would you tell to these people who are kind of on the borderline or maybe like hesitant to enter this world?
To enter this world?
Well, they've experienced some things. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but it's at the same time that it's going to change my world, who I am, my friends, who I know. Like, they're a little bit afraid because they're like, I don't know this stuff. Like, it's like weird. It's unknown. What the rest of the people, like, what do you tell them?
You mean like right now?
Right now, because I've met these people who are like, well, I'm curious, I'm interested, but I'm afraid. Yeah. So what would you tell them?
Fear is not real. It was ingrained in us. And I would ask them to lead with curiosity. Be open to everything, attached to nothing.
Yeah.
When you and I first met, I was in complete and utter awe. And then we had our experience and you saw me. You seeing me was a lot of that healing of, I always put myself, oh, here's the 3D matrix people, here's me, and then here's really great healers. And it was through your kindness, through your own healing of me, through seeing me of who you are. I had to sit here going, she's not stupid. She's not dumb. And she sees me and she believes in me. So who am I not to? And I ask, now I sit here taking that gift of a lifetime and making it my own. And now working to do this for others, right? It's really important. And to answer you more accurately, I'd say change whatever fear into curiosity. Just leap of faith. You said, I brought you up because you said, hey, let's do this. Hey, you're this. Hey, hey, let's do this interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Whatever that meant. Yes.
And so for the ones who have like gotten a little taste of like, oh, I don't know, maybe I do this, or maybe I feel, or maybe I hear, or maybe I don't know, translate art that I just found out my sister's friend is doing. And she's like, I don't even know if I'm making this up. But what would you suggest? How do they really like put a finger on what their magic is? Or how do they discover their magic or trust in it more, what they think they are making up?
Yeah. First thing, it's not easy, is to remove yourself from operating from the head and find your way to operate with your heart. Let your heart lead you. Like my sound healing, it sounded ridiculous. I came from corporate. It's go find another job, go apply. Instead, it was, I'm going to play with some crystal bowls.
Yeah.
But I felt it. And so I was determined to seek that out with pure curiosity and intent. For people trying to discover what their magic is, superpower, everybody has them. Yeah. And I would say, lean in not with, what's that? Oh, well, where's mine? Mm-hmm. I would lean in with, how do I feel? What are my desires?
Yeah.
And what can I do about that? What am I good at?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then keep moving from there. Because if we try to figure it out, we might limit ourselves.
Right.
If we lead with our hearts, the world is ours.
Right. And then it just comes to you and then just follow it. Even if it makes zero sense, just do more of it.
Right. Sense is up here. And this is limited information. It's only what you feed it. The heart is all knowing.
Exactly. And so just also because I had someone today who kind of was so hopeful for the outcome that they expected for so long, and it came crashing down because what they had hoped for didn't happen. And I just feel and sense how they're questioning everything. They're just questioning and they're just like falling down. What do you say to people, or what do you do when you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm just going to my cycle going down? Do you have any tips to share that how do you get yourself up and out of that hole again?
Quite transparently, yours truly is going through it right now. There's inner conflict and aggravation. Mm-hmm. And we can't figure it all out on our own. So I have a mentor.
Yes.
And I was working with her. And she was like, we're going through it right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I've never given birth, and I know men can't, but we get the idea. And it's kind of like giving birth. We don't know what our bodies are doing right now. It's different. It's carrying extra weight. It's about to change immensely. And sometimes it's extremely painful or freaky. And I'm going to say, for me right now, it's kind of like going through the canal, right? I'm feeling it come through the canal. It's like, oh, whoa, what's happening? And my advice is to be curious again and don't go, why? Yes. But to rather go, okay, what is the lesson? Yeah. What is spirit trying to tell me? And I just took some hours off myself and just stayed present with me And I didn't necessarily get any answers yet, but I feel a lot better by just saying, okay, what? I'm open. And guess who I'm talking to now to get more answers of what is here? You're reminding me of who I am and what I love and what I'm very passionate about. So here's my answer happening right before your very eyes when you say, when you're open to everything, attached to nothing, and ask, what is the lesson?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up here for today because but I know I want to have more conversations with you in the future.
I would love that.
Cannot wait for the next healing session with you because last time my focus was quite a bit on my daughter's first experience, but now I want to completely come in and enjoy it myself. But what you do is magical. What my daughter experienced will stay with me and her till the rest of her lives, and I'll be forever grateful for this. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you soon again.
My pleasure, my honor. And thank you so much for seeing me and asking me to do this with you. What a joy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this Healer Circle journey. If you are a healer with valuable insights to share, we'd love to hear from you. As together, we can continue to inspire one another to greater heights. Till we meet again, I'm sending you love, light, and gratitude. Until next time.